All right, just dropped off Tyson. It's Tuesday. This is dedicated to y'all out there who are about to make an exit out of the military. You're trying to figure out, like, honestly, you're trying to figure out what you need to do. What are your priorities to make this thing seamless? And I'm going to answer those questions real quick. If I was getting out, which I am, the first thing that I did was look over my finances to ensure that I have what I need in case things don't pan out the way I thought they would pan out. More important than anything else is I need to narrow down the places I would live so I can properly budget and figure out like what sort of job I need to get that would allow me to get the income that I need in order to keep the comfort of living the way that I wanted or up to my standard. So that was like one of the more crucial things that I had to do with my wife. We sat down. We already knew what sort of place we wanted to live to. We just needed to narrow down exactly where. That way, it really made it more transparent what sort of job or career field we need to get into that would facilitate enough income for us to do what we want to do in the long run. So that was the first thing, is narrow down where we want to live in order to figure out the cost of living so we can properly budget. The second thing that I'm doing, that I've been doing this whole time that I've been in, is ensure that my medical documentation is well kept. I have a physical copy. I'm gonna go back and go get another updated physical copy and go over the different things that coincide with what's on TRICARE Online, with also the physical documentations that I have or need to get. So there's that part where I'm looking over the medical documentation that is tracked by TRICARE Online. There's a new system called Genesis that really pulls everything that's ever happened to you medical-wise, be it civilian community or within the military. There are some things that will have happened to you that may not have been documented and tracked by Genesis, as it's pulling all the data points from the civilian community or just military. So what I would do in that instance is, if you don't already have that medical document, you need to find a way to go get it. I've already done a few things to get medical documents, imaging, a few things that happened. I ended up in the emergency room where documents weren't necessarily as accurate as they were depicted by TRICARE Online. So I was able to get those medical documents from the hospital where I went or was seen. So again, echoing that medical documentation, you can track that TRICARE Online. You can also go to your local medical, if you're on base, your local medical facility, and go get a disc or an email form of all your medical documents, and that way you can really start narrowing down or actually creating a timeline of when things happen. It makes the process a little bit easier for you to get your not just final physical, but to get your VA rating. So those are the two things right there that I find that need to happen, absolutely need to happen, if you want to make your life easier in the future. And if there is anything else that would hang you up from getting out of the military, it's your TRS. You need to go through the TRS class, and this will enable you to, one, get really familiar with what timelines you are on, and two, figure out what you want to do in the long run. Some of us already know. Some of us already know exactly what we want to do, but some of us might need that extra assistance to figure out or narrow down what we need to do and what that looks like. For instance, if you're going to go through college, but you've never been in a college environment, you don't even know like what's the first step, like calling a register, getting into a class. This is the perfect opportunity for you to ask those questions in an environment where everybody wants to know the answer. So there's that. TRS is really a bridge that needs to be crossed, because it'll allow you to do your capstone, and without your capstone, you cannot get your commanding officer's approval to make a clean exit, because it is DOD sanctioned, Department of Defense sanctioned, that every military member who's making an exit from the military will go through some sort of transitional process or transitional ready seminar, so to speak, TRS. And if this doesn't happen, not only can you not get out according to your timeline, but if you were really hoping to get into a skill bridge, it will not happen. So again, there's three things that I'm currently doing right now. The very first one I already did, which is narrow down exactly where I wanted to go, my family and I. to make it easier to plan for 1, budgeting, 2, cost of living, and 3, just like overall happiness and where we want to be. That's already been done. Right now, the next thing is really figuring out like medical documents and how that looks. I have a physical copy. Again, I got to go back to get a more updated version because the one I have might be old. I already looked through TRICARE online. I saw that there were certain points that maybe I could use some more documentation to emphasize what happened. That way it's more clear as far as what the VA is looking at. They have more data points that is not just from like the final physical, but they also have like what really caused this whole entire thing with my body not doing what it's supposed to do. So there's that VA, not VA, but medical documentation, so that it's easier for the VA to understand that this is the rating that I am definitely warranted. Lastly, get your TRS done. It's not overly complicated. There's different individuals out there that can help you with that, getting it set up. If you don't know who to turn to, look to the next rank up and have them ask the question. That way it's off your list and they'll find you the answer. If they don't know, they'll do the same exact thing that you did, is ask the next person up until you're finally at the top of the ladder and the person at the top of the ladder has all the answers. So if this helped you, I'm happy that it helped you. Happy Tuesday. Today is the NBA draft lottery. I'm hoping the Blazers get exactly what they need, which is the first round draft pick. That will get us the exact piece that we need in order to be a championship contender. If you like this sort of content, please like, share, subscribe. I need those things. Other than that, happy Tuesday.